Hello, and welcome to this short presentation of one of the Powershell scripts that I'm using to fix and solve one of the unique situations I'm working on. And this is also going to be I guess an incomplete tutorial or a glance over to PowerShell and some of the cool things you can do with PowerShell. So as an introduction, what is this? What is this video? This video, again, is a presentation of a PowerShell script, which is used to check to see if a user is logged onto a local machine. And if the user is not logged onto the local machine, send an email. And how are we going to use this? How are we going to do this? We're going to be using PowerShell, which is a Microsoft Windows scripting language, and we will be accessing a remote Exchange server. Some quick definitions. Commandlet. A commandlet is a lightweight command used in PowerShell. We use these frequently, and it gives enormous flexibility and power. Piping. Piping is a useful technique in PowerShell, which allows data from one PowerShell statement to be transferred to another. Weak typing. You may want to look into weak typing and strong typing when it comes to computer science, because weak typing generally is dangerous in most languages. It can cause confusion and errors and unknown situations. But for scripting in PowerShell, it provides ease of use, which is great, and ambiguity, which is not so good, but again, it makes everything easy. Now, reusability. Just a statement on reusability. This script isn't very reusable. I'm not creating custom objects. I'm not creating static methods. And I really should be, and I may be if I realize that I want to reuse these resources and these ideas and these processes over in some tangential way. And there are many ways to complete this process, this task in PowerShell. And admittedly, there are probably more elegant ways to do this. But I'm learning PowerShell, and as I go, it's not something I use every day, but it's helped me out in the bind many times, especially sending quick emails, notifications, checking on backing up drives and database servers, MySQL databases and SQL Server databases, especially when it's the Express version. So let's look at this script. Hello. Okay, the script. Here is the script. We're going to go over it in the next few minutes. To start off, we're going to be creating two variables, one called username and one called key. The $sign represents the fact that this name is for a variable, so all variables have to start with $. And this is an implicit string, so dsmith, and so the username will have the value dsmith, which is a string, and then there's also be the key variable, and that'll have a value of false. Now, looking at those quotes, you can see that does not mean Boolean, that doesn't mean logical false. This is a string that means false, and just keep that in mind. Alright, now we're going to start the good stuff. We're going to create a new variable, a new object called SMTP, and we're going to use the New-Object commandlet right here. Now this commandlet creates a new object, and it creates a new object of the type system.net.mail.SMTP. So that's a class, and the New-Object commandlet will create an object of that class, and this is our object, $SMTP. We're also going to have an argument, the argument list, and the exchange is the name of the remote Exchange server. Okay, with that set, we now know that we're going to be sending the email using the SMTP client. We have an object, and we know the destination to relay our email. Now we're going to use another commandlet called Get-WmiObject. What this does, this commandlet, it accesses the local Windows management instrumentation interface, and it queries the local class of the Win32 logged-on users. This will give us back an array, a list of objects of Win32 logged-on users, and we will save this array into the $x variable. So we're not explicitly calling and creating the type of x using any type of variable types and things like that. X is an array. This is behind the scenes. This is the great things about PowerShell, but again, the dangerous things of PowerShell as well. Alright, so now that we have that array of Win32 logged on user, we now access this array, and now we use piping for the first time. So we access this array, and then we select the antecedent member of each object within the array. And of course, we use the parameter unique. If there's duplicates, we just want to bring the single. In this case, there's usually not duplicate people logged on, or services or users logged on, but it can happen. So now the $A again is an array. It's an array of type antecedent. Alright, now we're going to perform our first loop. We're going to use the foreach operation statement to perform this loop. And what we're saying is that for each object in $A, perform this work. Okay. And so in each local instance of the loop, we can use $obj, which stands for object, and says that if this object antecedent, and we represent it to a string, and we set the case lower so we don't have to worry about lowercase and uppercase, if it contains the username, which is up here, then I'd like to set the key to true. Now, it's going to go through the loop, and if one of the antecedents of one of the logged on users contains dsmith, it will change the key to true. If it doesn't, if that is not found, the dsmith string is not found in any of the antecedents, then the default key value stays the same, and up here we've set it as false. Okay, so this loop iterates through each of the objects within $A, and if they find the matching string, then it says it's true. If not, it sets it to false. So now we want to check to see if we actually found the string we're looking for. Okay, and we use a conditional statement if. If the key variable value is equal to false, then perform this operation. Now this is a little strange. The EQ stands for equals or equality, and usually if you look at C# or Java, you have equals, or actually a double equal sign represents a conditional equality. But in PowerShell, it's an EQ. So if the value of $key is equal to false, the string false, then perform this function. Else, don't do anything. Or if there's an else, perform the operation that's inside. Now, if the string is not found, we access our SMTP.Client object, and we call the operation, we call the method send. And what this does is that it uses the remote exchange server that we called on, and it says send an email from this address to this address with this subject and with this body. And that is that. You can set it up as a scheduled task to maybe run once an hour or run once a day as necessary. Again, we have a vendor with an unusual application, and we need to have one of the users logged in to the application, to the server for the application to work, and it's an unfortunate circumstance. We don't manage it. The server is the best we can do. Make sure that your credentials are right, of course, and make sure you may need anonymous relaying. But thank you very much. This is a quick tutorial, and talk to you soon. Bye.